What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Locked in Sports. Bring you my 6 best bets for today, Monday, April 1st in the NBA. Made it to April. It's a new month, and it's going to be a very winning month. But before I hop into the picks, got to hop into the recap. Before the recap, I just want to say that if you're watching these videos a lot and if you're making money with them, which, let's be fair, I know you are because we got a great record here on the channel. As always, don't know it off the top of my head, but it will be down in the description below. Then consider subscribing. It really helps out the channel, lets you get notified when videos drop, and the sooner you're notified, the sooner you can place your bets and the better the lines are, because they have a tendency to switch up and get worse after I drop videos. And as always, leave a like and a comment down below. The channel has been going kind of crazy recently. Lot of new viewers, a lot of new subscribers, and yeah, thank you guys for all the support and all the help in growing this channel. It means a lot to me, and I'm glad that I'm helping you all make money. So with that out of the way, let's hop into yesterday's picks, the recap. A 3-3 day. It's all right. Not the worst, but obviously not what we strive for here. We like having those 5-1, those 6-0 days. But 3-3 exists. It moves us forward to a new day. What hit? What didn't? Well, Jalen Brunson hit. We took him for over 6.5 assists. His line was at 6 for part of the day, and then 6.5 again. Doesn't matter. He had 7, so whenever you took it out, it hit. Evan Mobley for over 13.5 points. He had 17. I think he was over in the second quarter or the very beginning of the third. So super sweat-free bet for us. And Josh Giddey for over 13.5 points. I know as soon as I dropped the video, his line dropped to 12.5. Doesn't matter where you got it at. He ended with 16 and 13 rebounds and 12 assists. So if you have Josh Giddey on your fantasy team, you are really happy right now. He got a great triple-double. But yeah, hit for us for points there. Love to see it. What didn't hit? Well, Josh Hart, we had him for lower than 11.5, 10.5, wherever you could get the line. He had 13. Barely clearing this line. Really unfortunate, but yeah, he just did better than he'd been doing recently and defied the odds. And then two just really weird ones. Derrick Jones Jr. only had 2 points. Yeah. It was a pretty crazy blowout, and also a game where Luka was just going off. So Derrick Jones Jr. just never really saw the ball that much. Didn't get that many shots off, and just wasn't hitting. Sad to say, but yeah. And then Dylan Brooks, we had him for over 10.5 points. He had 0. Did not make a basket all day. Not for lack of trying either. He had the shot volume. He just couldn't land a shot to save his life. Don't know what to say about that pick. It's unfortunate that he just couldn't hit anything. But the shot volume was there. At what he shoots regularly, he should have hit this line. It's unfortunate. Really, really is. But it happens. But we move on. We regroup. We recover. And we're going to have a really good 6-0 winning day today. So let's hop into the picks. Now, a brief disclaimer for today's picks. There are a lot of unders. Just kind of worked out that way. I found a lot of unders that I really liked, and I took them. So if you don't like unders, deal with it, because it's free money. Because that's how a good under works. It might not be the most fun to watch, but if it's going to hit, if you're going to cash out with it, you take the pick. That's just what I believe. And yeah. So, moving on from that, our first pick is an under. It's Tyrese Halliburton for under 10.5 assists. I know he's the assist king of the NBA, but he's only been averaging 9.4 over his last 10. And he only dished out 4 dimes against the Nets previously. And he's under in 4 of his last 5. Yeah, just recently hasn't been assisting as well as he normally does, and really doesn't assist well against the Nets, probably because, well, it's most likely going to be a blowout. Halliburton's probably not going to be seeing his full minutes, and he shouldn't have any trouble getting to the basket himself, so I like taking him for under 10.5 assists. For my next pick, I'm sticking with the same team, but hopping over to a different player. It's Miles Turner for under 7.5 rebounds. Well, he's only been averaging 5.6 over his last 10, pretty far below this line, too. He grabbed 7 previously against Brooklyn, so under this line, and he's under in 4 of his last 5 games. Additionally, there's a lot of blowout potential here, and Miles Turner will be up against Nick Claxton for boards, and Nick Claxton is pretty tall, pretty good at grabbing rebounds, one of his main really attributes as an NBA player. So I don't think Miles Turner is going to be grabbing that many boards here. He just hasn't been recently, hasn't got over this line against the Nets, and yeah, it's as simple as that. I'm taking Miles Turner for under 7.5 rebounds. For this next pick, I'm actually sticking with the same game, but hopping over to the other team, and it's an over. It's Dorian Finney-Smith for over 1.5 first quarter points. He's been averaging 2.5 over his last 10, and he dropped 7 against the Pacers recently in the first quarter. It's a fast-paced matchup. It's somewhere where Dorian Finney-Smith only needs one basket, one breakaway, one lob up the court, one open look, and he's over this line. He's been averaging above it recently pretty handedly, and I really think he's going to go over this line without question. Will he do it in the first 30 seconds? Maybe, maybe not, but by the end of the first quarter, Dorian Finney-Smith will have at least one basket. So I'm locking in Dorian Finney-Smith for over 1.5 first quarter points. With this next pick, I'm heading over to the Boston Celtics to take Jaylen Brown for under 22.5 points. Now, admittedly, Brown's been averaging 25.9 over his last 10, way above this line, but he only had 13 against Charlotte previously. He's under in 3 of his last 5. This is definitely looking like a blowout, and most importantly, he has a sprained hand. Brown might not even play, but if he does, he'll likely be seeing a minutes restriction. He'll likely not be playing in the fourth quarter at all if this is a blowout. I mean, think about it. You're in a blowout, your team's going to win. You're not playing your second best, one of your top players, Just no. Brown's not going over this line. With a sprained hand, he's not going to be shooting that much. Just comes down to that. So yeah, I'm taking Jaylen Brown for under 22.5 points. Next up, I am taking another under. It's Paolo Banchero for under 21.5 points. I know I love Paolo, but I think he's going to go under here. He's only averaging 19.2 over his last 10. He only had 14 against the Trailblazers previously, and he's under in 3 of his last 5. The 2 games where he went over were very close games, very competitive teams. They were going up against other, top 6, top 7, 8 teams that are putting up a good fight where Paolo has to ball out. In the games where they weren't against strong teams, didn't have a close matchup, Paolo was way under. That's just how he's been recently. He's showing up a lot more for the harder matchups, and the easier matchups, he's letting his teammates take care of business. And this is definitely going to be a blowout. So yeah, it's as simple as that. I'm taking Paolo Banchero for under 21.5 points. Now, for my 6th and final pick of the day, it's an over, and I'm picking Kevin Durant for over 24.5 points. There are a lot of lines from this game that I like, and I'll get to the rest of them in the cutting room floor pick section coming up next. But of all the lines, I liked KD the most. I just have a really good feeling about this one. He's averaging 23.2 over his last 10, but he dropped 26 on the Pelicans previously, and he's over in 4 straight. It's going to be a competitive game. It's one where KD has shown he can play well against the Pelicans, and he's shown that he can play well recently against other really strong competitive teams. Yeah, it's KD. He's a great player, and I'm really confident in backing him for over 24.5 points. All right, those are my 6 best bets for today, Monday, April 1st in the NBA. Now, I want to hand out my cutting room floor picks. If you're new to the channel, I dig up a lot of picks in my research. I do a lot of research for these videos, a couple hours for each of them. And I don't like handing out every single pick in the main section of the video. I find a lot that I like, but they don't make it into my top 6, 5, 7 favorite, however many I want to hand out for the day. But but I still want to hand him out at the end in case you need something to add to a parlay. You just like the player, you had a good feeling about the pick, anything like that. Now to run through them really quickly, I like Cam Thomas for over 8.5 rebounds plus assists. He's just over this in 4 of his last 5. He's been doing it really consistently. Derek White for over 13.5 points. He's over in 5 straight. My only issue was a potential blowout. Yeah. Vasily Micic. Now, technically, his under is a really good pick. I don't have all the stats because I don't want to fully endorse this one because I love Micic. He's hit for us so many times on the channel that I feel bad taking it under, but it is technically a good pick. Trey Mann for over 4.5 assists. So he's averaging 5.5 over his last 10, and he's over in 4 of his last 5, but blowout potential there. Jalen Duren for under 2 assists. He's averaging 1.9 over his last 10. He has 0 against Memphis this season, and he's under in 4 of his last 5. Good spot to back him for under, but also really easy for him to go over just with a couple lucky passes. Jaren Jackson Jr. for under 6 rebounds. He's averaged 4.8 over his last 10. He only grabbed 4 against Detroit previously. He's under in 3 of his last 5, and he's matched up against Jalen Duren. Not a good spot for JJJ. G.G. Jackson for over 2 assists. He's averaged 1.9 over his last 10, but he's tied this in 4 of his last 5. He's doing a good job dishing dimes. Now, for the final game, the Suns versus Pelicans game, where I said I liked a lot of these lines. I'm going to get into them here. I have Bradley Beal for under 15.5 points. He's under in his last 5 straight. So really consistently going under this line. He only dropped 13 previously against the Pelicans. But that was a game where Devin Booker went really crazy. So I think Devin Booker plays more reasonably this time about what he's averaging, and Bradley Beal probably does see more looks. Yusuf Nurkic for under 9.5 points. He's only averaging 8 over his last 10, dropped 5 on the Pelicans previously. He's under in 4 straight. He did hit for us before, but if it was at 10.5, I think I would have taken it. But at 9.5, I just feel like Yusuf Nurkic getting 10 is like it's hard to explain statistically speaking, but I don't like him. I don't love him to go under 9.5, but I do really like the line. It makes a lot of sense, but didn't make my top 6. CJ McCollum for over 22.5. He's averaging 20.8 recently, and he only dropped his 13 on the Suns previously, but he's over this in 5 straight. Yeah, he's over in 5 straight, but how he plays against the Suns doesn't match up to that. And Trey Murphy for over 5.5 rebounds. He's averaging 6.6 over his last 10, and he's over in 5 straight also. But he only grabbed 2 recently. So not a good matchup against the Suns. 2 picks there where they're over in 5 straight. Just don't have a good matchup, so I don't feel totally confident backing them in the main section. But I still like the picks. So with those cutting room floor picks out of the way, I hope you guys found one that you like, something you want to take, make some money with. And yeah. As always, please subscribe to the channel and so you get notified when videos get uploaded. And it also just helps me out a lot here. Like I said, the channel is going kind of crazy recently, and it's really awesome to see grow and really fulfilling. I don't think I've mentioned this on the channel before, but I do work, and I have a job that has irregular hours, which means that sometimes I'm getting back at 1 a.m., and that's when I start my research and start making videos. That's kind of today, so my upload schedule is a bit weird. But thank you guys for putting up with that and still continuing to watch the channel and support. It means a lot. And yeah, as always, leave a like. It means a lot. And comment your own picks and parlays down in the description below. I love seeing what you guys are taking. Love sweating them out with you guys. Just makes the NBA really fun to watch. So thank you for always doing that. And yeah, hope you all have a good one, and let's make some money.